hope you enjoy the tour of my garden. We just picked these beautiful flowers. I'm going to show you a casual, easy arrangement that is not going to take a lot of time. Sometimes when you cut from the garden, the stems of the roses are not very long, and I don't always fuss with floral foam, greening in, or making an elaborate arrangement. Sometimes I just want something simple and easy. I'm going to show you a way to arrange flowers very easily. I found that when you use multiple small containers and you group them together, you have the same effect as a larger arrangement using much fewer flowers and much easier to put together. So what I have today is a pretty white tea tray. I bought 3 little creamer pitchers in white from, I think, Home Goods a few years ago. I just liked all the different shapes. And we're just going to do an easy arrangement of the garden roses I just picked in these 3 little containers. But the design will come together because we're going to place it in this tray, so you'll see you'll have a nice large floral presentation without a lot of fuss. And we don't have any greening in today really, or floral foam. Here are some of the beauties from the garden today. Some of these roses you've seen, some of them are new to you, so I think we go through some of these while I'm arranging. Oh, I'm also going to show you this really wonderful greenery that I grow. It's scented geraniums, and they are scented. I grow 2 different types. One is a lemon scented geranium that has the light green foliage that I love, this bright lighter green that sets off, I think, the roses beautifully. And this one is a mint scented geranium that has sort of a chocolatey, chocolatey purple center and deeply cut foliage. And I love this because it's sort of velvety and it has like a little fuzzy feel to the leaves. And this is scented beautifully. So we'll use this as some accent greenery, and let's get started. This is a beautiful rose that I just started growing a couple years ago. This is called Boscobel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. I don't know if it's Boscobel or Boscobel. It was the house that Charles II was hiding in during the English Civil War. This is a rose called Wild Eve. Beautiful rose, sort of peachy pink. It looks sort of like Shropshire Lad. And this we've used before. This is the Huntington Rose from the Huntington Library in Pasadena, California, or named for Huntington Library in Pasadena. And these 3 are all David Austin roses. This white beauty is Alba Maitland. And you can see it behind me. I have planted these around my fountain. It's a low-growing shrub. It's a wonderful landscape rose. It is just a dynamo in the garden. It never stops blooming. You pretty much don't need it deadheaded. They're completely disease resistant, and they bloom nonstop from spring to fall. I just love these. Now they've taken off really, really quickly. I bought these as small own root plants, only 3-inch little containers about 3 years ago, and now they have taken over. I love this. Now this is a hybrid tea, a grandiflora rose that I don't usually grow a lot of hybrid teas. This is a beautiful rose in a crimson color called Sweet Spirit. And this is another new rose for me called the Ancient Mariner. This is another David Austin rose, named of course for Coleridge's epic poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I love this rose. Here is our old friend, Christopher Marlowe. I think I've shown you several times. I love how the shape is almost like a ranunculus or even a zinnia. It's like a button-shaped rose. And this is another gorgeous, gorgeous pale pink rose called Earth Angel. This is from the Parfuma series. I think I bought mine from Jackson Perkins many, many years ago. This rose is not a continuous bloomer. I think it only blooms in the spring with maybe a light repeat in the fall. And I will show you one of my favorite climbing roses. This is Eden, the Eden Climber. I have 5 Eden climbing bushes, and it's just a non-stop crop of cut flowers that lasts really long. I especially love the buds, which are almost pale green, kissed with pink, and the flower itself lasts really, really long, white with a little pink edge. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let the flowers tell me where they want to go. Sort of like it when I do these arrangements where it's sort of a hodgepodge of colors. It doesn't have to go with anything, just a beautiful arrangement of garden roses. I'm going to use a busco bowl in here. So you could cut the stems really short in these. Then I'm going to cut a little stem of the Wild Eve. I think I'm going to put this in here. The Alba Maitland. Oh, it's just incredible, this rose. Boy, I have to go even shorter. They're going to fall out. And because our container is so small, you don't even need to green in to hide anything. And we're not using any floral foam in this arrangement. What should we use? Maybe we cut a little bit of our Christopher Marlowe for here. Okay. Oh, we have to go shorter. See, they just fall out. So that's why these little tiny containers are wonderful for garden roses. Sometimes we don't have the long stems, or you just want to cut a little flower off to use, and you don't want to cut big sprigs off, because when you have roses that you're just starting to grow, sometimes it's hard to cut a lot off to use. Oops, I dropped one. Here's a little bud from Eden. So pretty. And then I'm just going to use the greenery that I cut as accent, not to really fill up the container, just to have a little contrast with the flowers. This is that minty scented one. The reason I grow so many David Austin roses is I've been a event and wedding florist for the last 29 years. Now I get my share of beautiful Ecuadorian roses, but we don't use a lot of these English roses. They've been very popular, and there are hybridizers that are now growing roses that look like David Austin roses, and David Austin actually does sell cut roses commercially now, but they're very expensive, so it's not practical to use for an entire wedding. We'll sometimes use it for bridal bouquets, bridesmaids bouquets a little bit, but I especially love these old world looking roses, and so that's why I grow them mainly for myself. Okay. And there's no right or wrong. I'm just putting things in as I see it, as if it looks good to me, I just use it. And that's how I want you to approach flowers from the garden. You know, I love to cut flowers from the garden to use in the home, because if you cut a few roses from the garden, you're not really going to miss it. But fresh flowers in the house really, really cheers up any space. I think I'll add a little bit of greenery to this. Maybe I'll use this lemony scented one for this arrangement. And I'm just going to put a few sprigs in between the roses just to set off the colors. Okay, I think that's too large a rose. Let's try this one. Okay. Maybe I'll use another stem of this beautiful Eden Climber. In upcoming videos, I'll show you my epic rose tunnel where I grow a lot of climbing roses and the hydrangeas. I have huge array of hydrangeas that are going to bloom in about 2 weeks, I'd say. Okay. I think I want another stem of this white rose in here. Okay, and then let's use some more of this velvety geranium. Well, this is like a perfect sprig. I don't even have to cut it. Let's put this beautiful Huntington rose in the center here for a pop of that hot pot pink. And then we still have a lot of roses left we could put together some other arrangements with. And there you have it. 3 petite arrangements arrayed on a tray. And this looks like a lot of flowers without a lot of effort or really a lot of blooms. And I hope this inspires you to use something you have in your home and to go out and clip something from the garden and bring it inside.